If someone doesn't know who to call, who do they call?
Ops crew.
The ops crew. My name's Andrew Young. Work here at the AVP, the operations director for the tour. And I help oversee the build from start to finish.
My name's Tina Chen. I'm one of the operations managers here at the AVP. I focus more on the hospitality aspect and the guest experience, and also the design and decor of like VIP experiences, the cabanas. And I think I try to make things a little prettier.
We are the first people on site and the last people to leave, making sure that everything gets here safe and sound, travels from city to city, set it up, bring in the big guns to run the event, and then we tear it down, pack it up, and move it on to the next event. We usually fly on a Wednesday, and then Thursday morning we get out on site, typically a 5 to 6 day build.
We're in each market for 2 weeks at a time, and people are always like, why are you there so early? I'm like, well, we need to build for you guys to come play.
Yeah, a lot of people think that the truck just kind of backs up the site and you pull the ripcord and
we blink and everything gets there, but no.
Not so much. Load in and load out are hard. I personally think that loading in is a more difficult process for us because everything has to be very precise and measured, and it's a little bit more of a slower process, and you got to make sure things are right.
But I will say we face different challenges in every city because I think people behave differently, but also we're loading in with an active beach, and there's people walking in, riding their bikes very quickly and things like that. It's a construction site at the end of the day, and so we have to manage the public, us, and just make it feel like we're not bothering too many people.
The nice thing about being on a beach is you don't have to bring the sand in, right? You've kind of got your blank canvas there ready to build on. And then on the flip side, when you bring sand in, you know, a lot of times you'll be in the middle of a city or in a park, places where people don't normally go and think there's gonna be a beach, and you have to truck all of the sand in. And then the big question is what do you do after the event with all the sand? You know, we have like a local organization or club that we can donate the sand to. That's something that we've really tried to do is help to support the local volleyball communities who are, you know, building new courts or help replenish some sand from the courts that they already have. I guess I've become a bit of a sand nerd over the years. Getting down to the millimeters of each, you know, grain and everything is a little too technical, but it's a very specific grade of sand that you have to have. A lot of times when you speak to a quarry or something like that, you can even ask for beach sand, or a lot of times it's like masonry sand is what it's called. Basically, high quality, fine sand is what we're looking for.
We do 8 events, but they're not all the same. They're not cookie cutter events. When we're not on site, we're constantly on the phones, changing our orders, negotiating, getting the best price for us, and it's a lot of work.
Yeah. To Tina's point, we end up with 30 to 45 vendors on site, but that's after getting 3 quotes from each vendor. So,
so we start out with a lot, and we narrow it down to the best of the best.
And that's, you know, not even including the TV side, TV production and things of that nature. So, yeah, it's a good chunk. In my eyes, it's extremely important to have a really solid operations team who's willing to bond together in the tough times and fight the battles that, you know, most people don't have to fight on site.
During the events, we do get to sit and finally watch some volleyball and enjoy the fruits of our labor, I think. But if we get a call from medical, we get a call from hospitality, whoever, we're just here to put out fires.
We definitely turn into a bit of the firefighter team during on-sites, or, you know, some people call it duct tape, right? Kind of the fix-alls. We cross over and kind of touch a little bit of every aspect of the event, whether it's medical, security, ingress, egress, fire department, building department. So a lot of times things will funnel through us. We try and make it as seamless as possible and be as efficient as possible. A lot of times if we do our job well, you know, silence is golden.
But without fail, something that our ops crew always has to do on every stop is go fishing under the bleachers for phones that were dropped, sandals that were dropped, anything that was dropped in it.
This isn't new. People have lost so many shoes in Chicago.
Yeah, lots of shoes.
That hasn't happened before.
But we're here to fish for you if you need to.
Yeah. In the office, we have a team of 4. Myself, Tina, Harrison, and Jordan make up the kind of in-house core operations team. And then, you know, we get a part of Ops Josh when he jumps in. So, 4.5, five on occasion. From there, we have a really solid team of 8 operational folks at every event, and those are kind of the people who are helping build some of the steel and set up tables and chairs in the courtside boxes and the cabanas and make things comfortable and look really good on camera. And then we also have our 2 resident Dutchies, Papa Dutch and Baby Dutch, Arnie and Flores. We bring them over because they're pretty much the best in the world at building courts and setting up the nets. And they usually have anywhere from 2 to 4 people helping, depending on how many courts we'll have. So I would say anywhere between 16 and 20 people, kind of depending on the event, is what it takes to build this. Let's do the math. We're on site either for 13 or 14 days per event. Since the start of Huntington Beach, and when we finally wrap up in Hawaii, it'll be a minimum of 104 days on the road. And that doesn't include site visits and other things of that nature. And that's almost a third of the year.
I did not come from a beach volleyball background at all or a sports background whatsoever, but I do want to say that the way that the AVP comes together, and at the end of the day, there's really good people surrounding this sport. And yeah, it's a cool feeling to be a part of something that's so big, and like, it's crazy sometimes, I gotta say. There are moments where I'm like, what is happening? What am I doing with my life? But at the same time, I'm so glad to be a part of it.
This team has really, truly become a second family, and it's hard for it not to, right? We spend so many days and hours stuck together, whether you like it or not, on an airplane, in a car, in the office trailer, and literally, blood, sweat, and tears. For me, it's been a really fun summer. We've put a lot of hard work in, and I really hope that the fans are liking what we're doing.